the fascinating thing about Joni Ernst's speech, aside from the fact, I mean, these are my takeaways from her speech. One, I can see how she won in Iowa. Yeah. Two, she may be a Cylon, but I'm that's not sure. But she was incredibly good at doing one thing, and that was, it was as if her teleprompter, and I got no problem with, obviously, with people reading from teleprompters, but it was as if her teleprompter was color-coded, so that, like, when red came, she was looking sad. And as she had to change the tenor, she was turning on a dime. She is a very well practiced. She's still a QVC level, but with time, she's going to be a very, very good emotive politician. And I think you can see, even though that she holds these beliefs that are absurd, that she didn't allow to come out during the campaign, or at least were not promoted in the campaign, about secession and a whole range of issues that are just really bat crap crazy. She's also a good soldier, and when someone tells her, as they certainly did, don't say that, she doesn't. And so she stayed in with certain parameters. One thing I found really fascinating is when she was promoting Keystone XL pipeline permitting, she said to an audience supposedly of people who are not necessarily in the know about specific issues, she never said the words pipeline. That's what Keystone is. It is a pipeline.
That's why the new Republican majority you elected started by reforming Congress to make it function again. And now we're working hard to pass the kind of serious job creation ideas you deserve. One you've probably heard about is the Keystone Jobs Bill. President Obama has been delaying this bipartisan infrastructure project for years, even though many members of his party, unions, and a strong majority of Americans support it. The president's own State Department has said Keystone's construction could support thousands of jobs and pump billions into our economy, and do it with minimal environmental impact.
She called it the Keystone Jobs Act. Now, aside from the actual reality that the number of jobs created that will last more than 4 or 5 months is literally in the tens. Tens, not the hundreds, not the thousands, not the 10,000s, in the tens. Somewhere around like 32 full-time jobs, because all they're doing is monitoring the pipeline. I guess presumably if there are major spills, there'll be some work there too. But yeah, we can keep our fingers crossed. But she didn't even say the word pipeline, and that is because, frankly, this is no longer about the pipeline. TransCanada doesn't even want the pipeline. We've talked to experts on this program about it. The price of oil is just too cheap. It's too expensive for them to extract it out of the tar sands and to keep it warm down the pipe so that it stays in liquid form. So she doesn't even say the word pipeline, which shows you just like, and that was the staple. Can anybody remember any other policy they called for? That was it.
Bread bags on shoes?
Bread bags on shoes. But honestly, that was the only policy. That is just how far back on their heels the Republicans are. And just as a coda, everybody in the 70s wore bread bags on their shoes. Whenever it rained, no matter what. I don't know if it was because of the quality of boot technology at that time or what, but there was no duck boots. There was no like rubber encased boots that people wore. You wore like leather boots. Necessarily water gets in, and so you put a plastic bag between the sock and the shoe so that when you take your boots off and you switch into whatever it is that you're wearing in school, your feet aren't wet.
Excuse me, Senator Ernst. I would like to do a corrective on shoe technology in the 1970s. This is Sam Seder, and I have a quibble, with a variety of things you said, but
That's
specifically
exactly right.
the boot issue has stuck in my craw.
Take that, Joni Ernst.